Hey there, this is Shaun. In this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how to build a material that has some masks on it that will allow you to differentiate between some metallic paint on the surface and a cloth base underneath. And it will also have the flexibility to add some tiling for both the detail of the cloth, and then also I'll talk a little bit about some of the cloth settings in the Unreal cloth material. All right, so let's get started and build this. All right, so I wanted to quickly go over the learning objectives that I have for this material construction. Basically, I want to demonstrate how to set up a series of masks that you can then tile with controls and then modify the color of the metallic texture that gets applied from the mask. And then additionally, you have a set of controls that then can control how detailed the normal is. In this case, it's going to drive the texture pattern of the cloth. And then finally, I have a border edge that goes around and just shows how you can combine a couple normal maps as well as add in an additional border mask into this whole mix. So let's build this thing. Okay, so let's build this material. So right click, material, M, cloth demo, and open that up, bring this over, and we want to bring in the textures that we're going to use. So I have a border normal and a mask for that, and then we'll choose one of these masks. So I like this one for now. Got an AO, base color, normal, and we'll bring in this as this texture pack, and we can talk about that at the end. So I've got 7 textures that I'm bringing in, and we can just select all those, and almost all of them, maybe not this. Well, why not? We can select all these, right click, and convert them to parameters. And those are going to be useful for creating a material instance. So if we want to swap in and out different normal maps and different masks, that makes it really easy. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to name all of these, and then I'm going to create 3 groups as well. I'm going to create in here, and that really makes it a lot easier once you've created your material instance. So I've got a cloth group, a mask group, and a border group. So I'm going to name all these and create all the groups, and then I'll come right back. All right, so I got the nodes laid out. I've got the groups created, and I even created a vector parameter. Now I'm going to create one more vector parameter so I can show this whole process in action. We'll call this the mask tint. And the mask tint, we're going to want to color and make it gold, because we want gold leaf on top of and then we're also going to want to put it in a group. We're going to put it in the masks group. So yeah, I just typed in here to create those 3 groups. All right, so let's start combining these. So I'm going to hold down the M key, and I'll combine the golden color with the mask. Now, we don't want to combine it straight, because this mask would, everything but the black would be colored yellow. So we want to invert it. So I'm going to use a 1- node. And then we also want to take this border mask and combine it. So I'm going to hold down the M key. And then I want to add these 2 together, because I have some dark pixels, and then we'll just plug it in. See how it looks so far. Okay, that's looking right. So that's great. Now, what we want to do is we're going to want to actually bring in the color of the flag in that black space. So we're going to take these 2. We've got the cloth color and the cloth tint. Same process of multiplying them together. And then I'm going to want to add the cloth tint to the whole color of the material. And there we go. So now let's plug in some of the other stuff? Well, we've got two normal maps and we want to combine them. And you do not multiply normal maps together. You want to use the blend corrected angles node. The blend angle corrected normals. That combines normal maps without destroying any of the data in them. Otherwise, you might not have the kind of bumpiness that you want in your normal map. Okay, so that's plugged in, and we just simply need to plug in our AO. All right, great. So we're on the road to building this thing. Now let's add some controls for tiling. So we want to create a set of controls for tiling this mask. So I'm going to hold down the U key and click, create a texture coordinate index and a S and click for a scalar parameter. So we'll call this the U tile mask. And we'll set the default value to 1 and we'll put it in the group masks. And then I'm going to duplicate this, Control W. We'll put this at W. And we want to append these two together. So append vector. Those, and we'll just multiply the texture coordinate index with the append. And we've got what we wanted, so we can comment that. And this is the UV tile mask. And then we can just copy and paste this, put it down here. We'll call this UV tile cloth. And we want to rename these as well. So and we'll call this, and we can set the default value to a little higher, so something like 3 is for a starting point. Okay, oh, did I put these in the right group? Nope, so let's put these in the cloth group. And looks like I want the default value to be the same. All right, let's just plug this in. So this needs to plug into 3. We've got to go into the AO, to the UV, and into the color. And then here, we just want to plug this into the mask for now. And that should do it. So once we've got that created, I'll just create a material instance so that we can take a look at it. Also, we can just to move the lighter on, I'm holding down the L key and just panning this around just to see how that's looking. So to me, when I do that, it seems to me that I'm missing something. So I'm missing metallic and roughness because it looks too uniform. All right, so that's let's do that. So we want to take the output of combining these, and we want to plug that into metallic. So that can go here. Let's see how that looks. All right, so let's think about this for a second. For metallic, I want to just use the masks. I want the output of this and the output of this inverted to be a mask. So let's hold a multiply key, and we can take this and we can put that into metallic and take a look and see what we've got. Now, it's a good start, but right now there's not a lot of differentiation because what's missing also is roughness. And so for roughness, we want the same kind of function, but I also want just a tiny bit of control. So I'm going to create a multiply node and a scalar parameter, and we'll just call this rough control. We'll set that to like 0.9, because what's coming out of here is going to be really, well, let's see, let me double check this. We want this to come out of here, and let me just plug this in. We might need to sort of invert this as a multiplier. Yep, we do, because right now we've got an inversion of what we want as rough, right? So we actually probably want, for our roughness parameter, go here, and we actually want this plugged in here because we want the roughness to be on the metal surface. So now I think we've got what we are looking for. It looks like it. The cloth is very matte, and our metallic is, it's looking metal. All right, that's great. Okay, so right now this is masking and doing the main mask correctly, but it's also excluding the border mask. So if we want to, we could add that on there. So we'll just pipe that in. And now we've got our material. So let's just test it. We'll create a material instance because that'll allow us to, let's see, here's the mcloth demo. Create a material instance. I usually call them MI, and then let's drag it on here. All right, awesome. So let's just adjust some of the parameters and see what we've got in terms of controls. And then there's just two additional things I'll mention in the cloth material. So we've got, we could change the tiling. So let's just jack that up to something like 7 and 7. So we could really move in close and get some nice detail if we wanted to. We could also change the mask tiling. So if we wanted to have a pattern that represented on the flag, which is awesome. What if we wanted to have instead silver and green? So silver metal, so then we'd have to change the material to something like white and maybe a green flag. All right, that works great. Now, one thing that's not happening is how does light transport through this cloth material? Now, one thing that we can do is we can change the shading model. So if we go into the mcloth demo and go in and select this and go to the shading model and switch it to cloth, that'll reveal some additional parameters. So like I just created a fuzz parameter here holding down the V key. So this is what color will start to percolate through if light goes through. So it should, typically it's something close to the overall material of the cloth. But anyways, it's a little bit like a Fresnel in a way, but it's sort of, at least that's how I understand it from reading the documents. So anyways, we can just plug that into the fuzz color. Pretty much that wraps up the full tutorial that I wanted to go over right now. And I'll do a quick tutorial for how to generate some nice cloth in one of my next ones. So thanks very much for watching.